Hey there, so this is Philip. I'm going to just give you a quick idea of some of the new features. We just had a build for the first time in about 3 months. We went through a couple of challenging times, events, laptop that died, power supply or something on the board, the motherboard died. So then I think some laptop was stolen or something else, some equipment failure and human failure, perhaps, if you want to call it that. Sad. It's difficult to develop under conditions like these. But hey, we are back thanks to the support of some benevolent supporters, donations, and even though it's not the super high-end computer that we used to have, that Dan used to have, he has something usable again at this time. And it's been taken a little while finishing up some books also. But now let's take a look at three of the features. The browse media has received a little bit of extra capabilities or attention. There is one way to use it. You see this button here for browse media, and that's of course if you are in the first tool here, the brush tool. If you're on a different one like the fill tool, linear tools, and so on, there's going to be different sub-menu items here in the context bar. In fact, some of them even have two context bars. You see, for example, the curve tool has a main one and an additional one. It still has the browse media also, because after all, much of the linear tool, the curve tool, does actually use the brushes as well in many cases, not all cases. So here we are anyway with the regular brush, and if you click the browse media, you'll see this pop up, and there's a pull down with a number of categories. And so for example, you have various oils and paint on alpha, and let's go back to the organic. And let's say you dibble dabble and you paint with that, so you have something like that here, right? So that's one way to get to these. The other way is this pull down menu that you have with the little gizmo here, the little arrow pointing down. That gives you the same list, or pretty much as what you see when you click on the browse media itself, and you see these items here. Notice at the bottom there's foliage brushes, orbicals, bristles, and particle brushes. So foliage is another category of another type. These are 3D brushes. They actually follow the mouse if you make it, if you let it, but it's shooting these particles and they are in 3D, and then it's doing some self-shading with ambient occlusion. So you can get some pretty neat results with that. Anyway, so that's the thing. We've checked that and tested it and explored some ways to improve it and make it more robust. And that's the first thing, is that you can see it now directly here from browse media, or the pull down, which will give you some other ways to quickly find, maybe in alphabetic order, a longer list here, easily seen. And so that way you can paint many different things in many different ways. All right, so that's one thing. And then when you store the image, as you saw, or as you may remember, when you paint something here and you store it, it will be stored in on the side here. Let me paint one or two others just so we have a little recap of what that looks like. This is nonsense. Let's paint something a little bit different, maybe some flowers. There you go. So we have something we'd like to keep for using, so working with it somehow. So I'm going to store that one. Now we have those two. And sometimes you have a whole bunch of these because you gradually improve it and do some more work, and then eventually you have stored a whole history of these. And then there's one that you want to quickly save, maybe even not save to a file. You just need to get it into the clipboard. Now, it used to be that you could simply go, and you can still do that. That was one of the quick ways to do it. You copy it to the clipboard here. But who has time to go right in these precious times? We go click here and then find it, clipboard, and oh, you could have used a shortcut. All of that we don't have time for. So the stored copy is right here. You simply right click on the stored copy. When you click it, it restores it right in there as the current one. So you click here with the left button. But you could also get the pull down, or you can now also right click it, and that's a big shortcut, if you will, in your workflow. And there's two more options: copy to clipboard right here. So now it's in the clipboard, right? So, and then that way you can do a number of things, including getting it back in here, since we do have this, right? So if you, for instance, if you take this one here and then you right click the one below and copy that to the clipboard, it's in the clipboard, which means we should be able to go to the menu and say paste new image, or into the current image, since it's the same size. That should work too. And there it is. It went through the clipboard. So that's that. A couple of shortcuts, couple of helpers. You have two new options here: copy to clipboard, and there's also save as. So you can now actually save it directly from your stored copy, save it to a file. And of course, there's a couple of formats that you can contemplate with this. This one here seems to be defaulting to the PNG format, portable network graphic, but there's a couple of others. There's JPEG, there's a bitmap, there's the the TIFF format, tagged image format. And so with that, you have a couple of ways to get this out, including the alpha channel, because that's actually something it also stores here. If you have an alpha channel, like a selection mask or something, it will be stored in here too. And you can in fact get it back if you want just the alpha. There's like, you can even show it as a grayscale. I didn't do that here, so I can't really demonstrate that, but there are some features relative to alpha, because we also save the alpha, and therefore when you save it out to a file, you will want on occasion to also include that, such as a transparency mask all around the center of the object, right? So that doesn't happen with JPEG format, but with other formats like PNG or TIFF, you'll definitely get that. Alrighty, well, that's it for this quick update. You can see what's new also on the website. So right here, when you are on thebest3d.com, you can see right here there's a shortcut to the version 15, or PD Howler 2022. You can also see that here. If you click on PD Howler, it will take you to a list of prior versions. And of course, the most recent one as of today is still 2022, also known as version 15. And when you go there, you can click on what's new, and that will give you a little bit of an update that I just described today. I encourage you also to read the books from Dan, our author and creator of Project Dog Waffle. There's some illustrations by other artists as well, really inspiring. And you see here what's new as of October 14, build number 38. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.